move on. Not interested. Move on. Something along the lines of leaving the toxic UK. But on the other hand, just really, really sad that people are only interested in drama. Using really strong words like devastated, unhappy, evil society. But before any of that, roll intro. Bonjour les poules, ça va? À table, bon appétit. Good morning, front of Paterman Stairs, La Charente, the northernmost tip of the southwest of France. It's a bit blowy today, nice and bright though. I'm going to jump straight into the veggie patch with the big boy strimmer and strim it down. Anyway, I've got a theory. So, the video that I put out on Wednesday, which was yesterday for me, it's doing really, really bad. And the title was something like, I can't remember, but the thumbnail is like happy in retirement. Hardly any views. You compare that to a channel that we watch, Mark from GoingSolo in France. Yeah, we watched him for a few years now, and we enjoy his content. And so he put a video out, something along the lines of leaving the toxic UK. And that video, 222,000 views. Lisa and I are really, really happy for him because he's generated a bit of income and he's managed to buy himself some stuff because he lives frugally. So we're really, really pleased with him. But on the other hand, just really, really sad that people are only interested in drama. So I'm going to test that hypothesis. I'm going to put a devastating thumbnail on. I don't know, using really strong words like devastated, unhappy, evil society. I'm going to do all that. So if you're watching this video because of that thumbnail, move on. Not interested. Move on. And I don't care if YouTube stop pushing it because I don't do this for the money, because I don't monetize. And nothing is devastating. Yeah, we're living our best lives. This is the happiest we've been in our lives, in our marriage. It's just been the best 2 years that we could have ever wished for. So, I'm going off on a tangent. I need to get into the veggie patch. So let's do that. So don't go away. It's not the end of the video. But here's a nighttime shot of the Charente. Stop skipping forward. Good morning. Do I need the coat? I probably don't. It's just that Lisa's wearing hers and I got tricked. It's just a bit blowy, that's all. It's still warm. All right, Unique. You see him? Anyway, I'm still thinking about the title and thumbnail to test my hypothesis. I think I'm going to go with something about forced to quit the toxic UK and then put like real powerful words on there. So why are you doing it, Rob? Why is it important to you? Good question. Glad you asked. It's, I think it's important. What if you've got a hypothesis, a theory, yeah, then you need to test it. And that's why I'm doing it. Because I've spent all my adult life working in and around and with misery and people. And I thought people in general were arseholes until I retired. And then in general, I thought, no, people are actually quite nice. Especially the ones that are retired and haven't got the added stresses of life, anxiety that goes with having a full-time job. But on the other hand, I also feel that people just go searching for drama and only want to watch stuff. You know, they don't want to see people happy. But anyway, we've got a little bit on today. I need to pop down, go and get some fuel for the garden tractor. I'm not mowing it. I'm not mowing today. I'm just going to be flattening out the hill because we're going to block off the hill to allow that time, to allow it to grow. And there's been some great suggestions from you guys about getting like a roller. Can't find one anywhere. Anyway, something popped in my head this morning, and this has got nothing to do with anything, but it's around leadership and responsibility. And so if you take any of this, fine. If you don't, scroll forward. But I was often asked, well, if people wanted to get promotion in my team, then they'd have to come to me for authority, for approval. And it was important for me as the team leader, as the DI, to make sure that the right people were being promoted for the right reasons. And so I would always ask them this question. And I'll start off by saying, right, so people will generally do 80% of what you ask them to do. People will generally work to 80% capacity. No one ever works to 100, and they will work to 80 because of the rank or the position that you hold. But what is it about you that gets the extra 10%? And I would get all sorts of answers, like, I'm team focused, I'm target driven, I tackle poor performance. And I say, yeah, that's all well and good. But what I wanted to hear was that they cared about people and that they had emotional intelligence. Because people don't care how much you know, they care how much you feel. And so if people would come to me with the first answers, I'll send them away. And I'll tell them to go and find out what it really is about them, that people want to work for them. Anyway, I've just waffled and probably wasted 2 minutes of your day. Anyway, Lisa's over there doing a veggie patch. I need to get to the car for. Get the garden mower out. I mentioned about, sorry, so I mentioned about the emotional intelligence and being able to read a room. Is because I've not got a very high IQ. I'm not saying I'm thick, but I think I've got a high EQ. That's not something that I realised that I had until Lisa. She worked for me for a while in the CID office, and she could tell that as soon as I walked into the office, I could read the room really, really quickly and really, really well. That's probably anxiety based as well, because you want to know the tempo of the team that you're walking into. You know, you want to get a feel for the room, and I'd like to think that I was pretty good at lifting people's spirits. Not all the time. Anyway, I'm still waffling. Let's get on. I think I got that saying wrong. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That was the saying. Dialed up the colour coordination today. Cue slow-mo. Oliver.
If I can't be with you, I'd rather be by myself. But no, I can't lie, I don't want anybody else. Those happy days that we once knew, so long ago, they still make me blue. I want you right now. If I could show you somehow how much you mean to me. If you could only see. Baby, you know I don't want anybody else. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. All that I want is to have you all to myself. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. The way I do. Yeah. The way I do. Yeah. I lose myself when I think about you. I search within, and I want you to find me. I want you right now. If I could show you somehow how much you mean to me. If you could only see. Baby, you know I don't want anybody else. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. All that I want is to have you all to myself. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. Baby, you know I don't want anybody else. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. All that I want is to have you all to myself. No one but you. You make me feel the way I do. The way I do. Yeah. The way I do.
Got loads of jobs done over the past couple of days. Really pleased. I'll show you the veggie patch in a minute. But I've just been reflecting on why I brought up the subject of leadership, and that's because I've been doing a lot of you reflecting myself, and you tend to do that when you're retired, about past lives and stuff like that. Now, I was a DI for 14 years, which is a really long time, and I enjoyed it because it was at the right level to still have a connection with the rank and file, but also to have a bit of influence within the police service. And then one day, an absolute cock got promoted to Chief Inspector, to Detective Chief Inspector. And I thought, really? Right. So my ego kicked in. And you really do have to sell yourself to the organisational devil, because you pick up extra projects and you have to do some pole greasing. And we used to call it, you know, there were people there that were really good at cupping balls. People even better at working the shaft. And there were some absolute experts that were really good at organisational edging. And my anxiety got the better of me. It was affecting work-life balance. Yeah, Lisa had a really, really busy job. You know, we had young Robbie at the time. Yeah, this was before Angel. And then I decided enough was enough. So I pulled out. I pulled so I pulled out of the race, and my anxiety left. And what I found was my leadership style got better, because what I was doing, every decision I was making, every act that I was doing, it wasn't for me anymore. It wasn't to boost me in terms of hey, organisation, look at me, aren't I amazing? I was doing it for the people. You know, the people might not have thought it at the time, but I would like to think that I was transparent enough and honest, and I did on occasions, especially in the last few years, upset quite a few senior leaders, because I just wasn't accepting the rubbish that they were trying to sell us. You know, they were just you know, there were some toxic leaders within the police, and some really, really good ones as well. Anyway, I just thought I would explain that. Right, shall we have a quick look at the veggie patch? Let's do that. Sorry, what I was meant to say was, who wants a veggie patch update? I know I do. So it's all nicely mown. It looks tidy now. And can't hear you. You haven't got a mic on. Still a few bits and bobs to do. Cat's comfy. Yeah, it's looking a lot like it was last year, but without legume. Anyway, horses haven't moved off the new bit of grass. If you've got this far, well done. If you're one of these people that have never added a comment, can you add me a comment? Because there's loads of you out there that don't add comments, and it'd be nice to sort of meet you. So add a comment. Hope you all have a great weekend. See you Monday. Laters. Come on then. Come on.